Okay, so I've totally always known that something would come into my life, and I would just hold it so dear. I thought it would be one of my kids, like, oh, I love you, you're my kid. And then I thought maybe it would be my husband. Oh, I love you, you're amazing, you're my husband. By the way, let me borrow his shirt so that I could not take my belt that I slept in off because it's amazing. Uh, and it's this belt. I love it. I will completely operate around this belt. I don't care what I fucking look like. I was gonna put an infinity scarf on, and then it got stuck, and I was just like, hey, that's actually not bad. So, I've never taken this belt off. I mean, there's just so much room for activities. It's so cool. I haven't found anybody that likes it yet, but I don't care, because I like it. I like it a lot. So here's what we're going to do today, fellas. Ladies and gents. Hey, we're not going to get caught in my necklace, because that is uncool. The more it appears so you can just see the awesomeness that is the belt. No, I'm not really going to do that. Anyway, what we're going to do is I'm going to read you another Sleeping Beauty. However, this time, it's not as dirty, I guess. This is Grimm's fairy tale tales, because there's several of them. And they're kind of dark. Like, I'm not even going to lie. This is some kind of dark shit. So, what I'm going to do is read part of it, because I think I can't read the whole thing. And then I'll give you my review. So, let's start out with, once upon a time, there lived a king and a queen who had no children. That sounds amazing. They could go wherever they wanted to in the castle. They longed very much for a child. Grass is always greener. And when at last they had a little daughter, they were both delighted, and great rejoicings took place. When the time came for the little princess to be christened, I don't care, it doesn't matter. You know what matters? Fucking belt. Fucking badass. To be christened, the king made a grand feast and invited all but one of the fairies in his kingdom to be godmothers. There happened to be 13 fairies. But the king only had 12 gold plates. He had to leave one of them out. Now, he didn't really have to do that. That's fucking rude. What he could have done was invited her over a day before and been like, hey, you're fucking special. You don't get a gold plate, but what you do get is to see Aurora first. I don't actually know that her name's Aurora, though. I did read this, kind of, I think. I don't know. Anyway, so the 12 fairies that were invited came to the christening and presented the little princess with the best gifts in their possession. One gave her beauty, one gave her wisdom, another grace, another goodness, until all but one had presented their offerings. I didn't get grace. I didn't get wisdom. Besides being a dick, I'm pretty good. I want 12 fairy godmothers. I want 13 fairy godmothers. Because I want the bag curse, too. I already got the bag curse. I actually don't mind the bag curse. It's being crazy. It's fun. Okay, so, where were we? Grace, whatever, presented their awesome offerings. Just as the last fairy was about to step forward and offer her gift, there came a tremendous knocking at the door. And before anybody could get there to open it, it burst open, and in came the 13th fairy in a furious rage at not having been invited to the feast. I don't know if you guys are familiar with fairies, but they're actually dicks. Like, fairies are not nice. What was that? Puck was a fairy from Shakespeare. He was a douche. Whatever. And mermaids, they're mean too. I actually saw a movie on Netflix. We won't even go there. Murderous mermaid. People want to be mermaids. I want to be a lion. No, I don't. I want want to be a bird, so I can like bark. No, I don't really want to be any. I'd totally be a house cat. I think that's why I'm fascinated with Sleeping Beauty because she sleeps all the time, and I'm just like, hey, that's amazing. That's what I want to do all the time is sleep. So blah 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 blah. Obviously, she gave her a bad curse. I guess I'll tell you the curse before I skip through it. I'll just tell it to you. I think she says that she's gonna die from pricking herself on a spindle, which is the pointy part on a I don't know, what is it called? Wheel. Sewing wheel? I don't know. Let me see what it is. Strangely shaped wheel. No, that's not what it's called. Spinning wheel. Really simple. Okay, so, when she turned of a certain age, she was going to prick her finger on this. The king decides that all of these spindles should be, and spinning wheels, should be, like, outlawed. And, if anybody's caught using them, they're banned by death. What I don't get is he, like, puts them all in this tower, right? I don't know if he does it in this book, but, like, this is the original. In the fake original, he puts them all in a tower, right? It's not like pot where if you burn them all, everyone's gonna die or get high. It's fucking wood, I think. I don't actually know what fairy tale land is like. That's not true either, is it? No, I'm just pretty sure it wouldn't have done anything. He just burnt the shit, all of it, and was just like, you know what? We're going industrial. He could have fucking started a revolution. That's what people don't get. They can start a revolution, but they don't. They're just like, I want you to carry this up 147 flights of stairs. And then the other 50 million of these spindles. Just, go on. Thank you. So anyways, the Sleeping Beauty somehow, pricks her finger on one. She finds one. She's an asshole. And curiosity killed the cat. Well, it didn't kill Sleeping Beauty because that last fairy gave her this. Instead of it killing her, it would just put her in a deep sleep. When the princess falls asleep, you shall sleep too. So her family falls asleep too. And awaken her with 100 fucking years? Okay, so instead of dying, she falls asleep for 100 years. That's insane. 100 years. You know how long that would have been in fairy tale land? Like, fairy tales are, like, way shorter than when I'm making this. So 100 years would be a long time. It'd be like an eternity. So anyway, she pricks her finger, blah, 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 blah. In a moment, a deep silence fell upon all who were in the castle. Oh, so everybody in the castle falls asleep with her. So everybody, the ladies in waiting, the king, horses in the stable, pigeons on the roof, the flies on the wall, even the very fire upon the hearth fell asleep too. Deep shit. With her hand outstretched and she began to snore aloud, she too fell asleep. The butler, they had a butler. Why didn't she have guards on her? Like, they knew when this was going to happen. I'm pretty sure that they were given a date. Whatever. The butler, who was tasting the ale, fell asleep with the jug at his lips. I've done that. Drinking's fun if you know your limits. Or if you're not old like me and you get a fucking hangover. You don't know fucking what a hangover is until you are over the hill. I'm not over the hill yet, but like 40 is kind of old. I'm not 40 though. Like I'm like 12. I don't know. Who knows? You don't know. I lie. Who knows? I'm not 40. Fuck you. After many, many years, there came a king's son into the country who had heard the story of the princess in the hedge of briars, and he made up his mind to try and force his way into the castle to awake the sleeping princess. People told him of the fate of the other princes who had tried and attempted this difficult task, but the prince would not be warned, so they must have died or some shit.
I have made up my mind to see this maiden of whose beauty I've heard so many wonderful tales, he cried. I will force a way through the hedge of thorns and awake this sleeping beauty, or die in the attempt.
That is devotion. He must have been desperate. Now it happened that yes. Now it happened that this day was the last day of the 100 years, and when the prince came to the thicket that surrounded the castle and began to push his way through, he found the briars yielded readily to his touch. The thorns had all blossomed into roses that scented the air with a fragrance as he went by. Primroses sprang up before his feet and made a pathway to lead him straight to the castle gates. And the birds suddenly broke forth into singing, as if to tell the world that the 100 years of enchantment was over. It says we're over. I'm pretty sure that's right. And the princess about to be awakened from her deep, long sleep. He kissed her, instantly the spell was broken. And up in the tower chamber, the princess opened her eyes to meet the gaze of the prince, who had dared to risk his life for her sake. What they said to each other, nobody quite knows, for nobody was there to hear or see. But whatever it was, it must have been something very satisfactory, for soon after they were married, and they lived happily ever afterwards. I can totally see where Anne Rice got her Sleeping Beauty from. Like, there are words in here like naughty, pain, pricked. Like, there were words that she totally just took and was like, oh, I'm gonna spin this shit. Anne Rice is great. I wonder... Yeah, Anne Rice is great. This book is actually fucking amazing. It is the 210th copy from 1929, and it was 67 cents. And there is a picture from Sleeping Beauty, and this is the only one that I found in here. But it's so fucking pretty. Can you see that? Probably not, because you guys suck and you have terrible eyes. It's so pretty. Yeah. This is my second wedding dress. And third and fourth and fifth. I had a couple wedding dresses because, you know, I like to change clothes. Was yellow. I love yellow. Just a pretty dress. So, Sleeping Beauty's an idiot. I gotta find a new fairy tale to salivate after. Maybe I can turn Cinderella into some sort of erotica story. I wonder how they have that twisted. The words they have in their throne that will blow my imagination away. Not taking off the belt. Gonna work my way around it. This belt is going to be my life. I love it. I love this belt. Okay? So, get off my case. Right? You know? Like, I'm sure you have something that you love. You know? What do you love? I love my dog Baxter. God, it's too damn hot out. Milk was a bad choice.